Life is sitting here in front of us and welcoming all of us to dive in and experience everything on offer. The growth that occurs through any challenging experience is really what we seek.
Hello, and welcome to a special roundtable for Limitless, Live Better Now. I'm Alejandro Alba, and today we're going to dive into the amazing capabilities of the human mind and what it really means to push our limits. Joining me are four amazing, remarkable individuals. First up, we have Shankar, a cognitive scientist, BJ Miller, a palliative care physician, Abigail Marsh, a neuroscientist, and lastly, we have Robbie Maddison, a world-renowned stunt writer. Today, we're gonna explore what it means to harness the power of the mind, whether in moments of quiet decision, crisis, connection, or sheer adrenaline. Let's get started. In the show, Chris Hemsworth goes all the way to Korea to learn how culturally they deal with pain. How has Western culture shaped the way we think about pain or discomfort?
I think the idea of seeing pain as a failure or as a weakness is very dominant. Pain is part of the deal. It's not a failing. So we have to shift our language. We have to shift the sort of the framing of how we hold pain.
Robbie, what's your relationship with pain?
I've been clinically dead now 6 times, 5 through traumatic head injuries. It really fractured me, but it gave me a relationship that it's not going to kill you. It's just, and to BJ's point in the series, it's just an experience. And it's something to be said for that, because I've allowed myself to get through periods where I thought that was unmanageable, and they've become manageable.
Why do you think it's so important that we keep challenging ourselves, especially as we age?
Sure. I mean, one of the brain's fundamental sort of rules is use it or lose it. If you don't use properties or abilities in your brain, the brain decides, well, I guess we don't need that, and it pares those capabilities away.
As we get older, our neural connections weaken. And the great thing about the way that our brains are designed is that we actually can strengthen those connections over the course of our lifetime.
You tap into emotion a lot throughout the season. Joy is one of them. Laughter, anger at one point becomes also a shield.
Yeah, negative emotions I think, get a bad rap. They all have their place. And rage seems to dull our experience of pain. It may increase our muscular output. So even if it doesn't feel pleasant, it's an emotion that sometimes, in judicious ways, it's okay to feel and maybe even beneficial.
And how about laughter and joy, which is something that you tap into?
Oh yeah, it shows up big time with Chris and his friends in the episode. Delivering electric shock. But it was beautiful. I mean, those guys, the way you just see how this old friendship, the camaraderie, completely changed their experience of pain and objectively changed their pain threshold and tolerance.
How do each of you personally approach failure?
I'll jump in because I fail a lot, but I use failure as my guide. Failure, for me, is something that motivates me to really break down why am I failing this and what do I have to do to achieve it properly. And hidden in amongst that failure is the path to success.
You know, when I'm failing at something, it's typically a great sign that I'm doing something right. We see Chris failing constantly when it comes to learning the drums, and failure is his teacher.
One of the things I love about being a scientist is that the whole point of science is that we don't know what we're doing, right? We're always trying new things because that's the interesting science, is I'm gonna test a new hypothesis, nobody knows what the answer is, nobody knows what the right way to test it is, and you'll usually fail, that's the norm.
Finally, if there's one shift you hope people make after watching Limitless, Live Better Now, what would it be?
You know, I think to Abby's point about use it or lose it, that's also true about things like grit and perseverance. And so I would just encourage people to try to put themselves in situations where they can witness progress, however small it is.
The thing that sticks out for me in this experience with Chris, I felt like I was watching someone grow in front of my eyes as he softened around his own experience. And so as a major takeaway there, sort of self-love or self-compassion is really, really key, especially over time.
One thing that I want to just give people as a toolbox is to just not give up, always try something different, be willing to hear everyone's point of view, because behind the conversation you didn't have might be the answer you're looking for.
One thing that I came away so inspired by is Chris's example of always being just a little bit dissatisfied. There's no inherent tension between appreciating what you've succeeded and never quite being satisfied that it's enough, and keep pushing to try to keep growing and improving.
Abby, BJ, Maya, Robbie, thank you all so much for sharing all this insight and spending time with us.
Thanks for having us.
So much.